Do you guys remember when the dirt sheets came out last year and they said that AEW, they're going to run a stadium show in Australia? Good night, mate! And then it turns out it's not a stadium show because clearly they're not selling the tickets they thought they would. Okay? Not only have we found out that it's not a stadium show, but as far as I can see, it's not going to be on pay-per-view. It's going to be like a Collision special. Basically, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the very recent announcement of WWE and TNA and their partnership, and why I really don't care that much about their partnership. I would if they would change something, but as of right now, man, I do not give a fuck. What else have we got? WWE PLE in France in 2025 in Paris, according to Nick Khan at a media event. That's where we're going to start. So, Nick Khan was at this media event. I don't know what the event was called, but he basically said that we're going back to France and we're going to Paris in 2025. It's not official, but as far as what he's saying, that they're going, right? They're going back to France. Now, I have a problem with this. I don't have a problem that it's on a reasonable time. I'm happy that it's on at a reasonable time for me. But that crowd, and I got loads of heat for this when I did my Backlash review. I could not fucking stand that crowd by the end of that show. It was fun at first, but when you've got 3 hours of it, you just can't take it anymore. When they're trying to get into the Cody and AJ match, and all I can hear is the fans and the crowd chanting fucking something, right? And they're being super loud, and they're taking the attention away from the match, and they're making me think, I wish this show would hurry up and end, because this crowd's pissing me off, right? They're going to go back to France because they want that reaction again. They're probably going to get that reaction again. And my God, I might skip it. I might watch the highlights and skip the show because I don't want to put up with that again, man. Unless they can find a way to make it fun again. Like I say, the first hour and a half of the crowd being like that, it was fun. But after that, man, I did not want to put up with it again. Okay? Germany wasn't as bad, and everywhere else they've been to wasn't as bad. But France, please, if you're going to attend this Paris show, just be normal. Please be normal. You don't need to be super loud. We know you're there, and you're allowed to have fun. You're paying extortionate prices for these tickets. But think about us watching at home, man. At the same time, please. Next, we're going to go into the WWE TNA Partnership that's been announced. It was announced yesterday by WWE and TNA that WWE NXT stars will more likely be appearing on TNA. TNA stars will more likely be appearing on NXT, right? Now, that is the problem I have with this, is it's NXT exclusive, right? Sure, you might see a couple of TNA guys in the Royal Rumble this year. That's more than likely going to happen. But that's probably going to be it. The rest of them are going to go to NXT, and they're going to be back and forth between TNA and NXT. Now, how many of you watch TNA, and how many of you watch NXT? Don't think it's many of you. I'm sure there's a few of you. I don't think it's many of you. Me personally, I don't watch either show because I don't really have a reason to. TNA had 3 draws, in my opinion, last year. They had the Hardys, who have had a bit of a resurgence after their AEW horrible run. And you had Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry was quite big. You don't hear much about Joe Hendry anymore. Why? Because he lost. And he lost. And he lost. That's why you don't hear much about Joe Hendry anymore. I'm pretty sure he's going to be facing Nick Nemeth for the TNA Championship, excuse me, at Genesis, but we all know he's going to lose. He's going to lose, and the interest in Joe Hendry, which has already dropped, is going to drop even more. Which is really unfortunate, man, because you could have bought in Joe Hendry last year, had a big pop. Oh my God, Joe Hendry, right? Obviously, you bought him into NXT, but that's NXT. We don't care about NXT, right? A good way for this partnership to work, right, and to get some eyes on TNA is for the Hardys. Are the Hardys still the TNA Tag Team Champions? If not, get the TNA Tag Team Championships on the Hardys if they're not the champions already. Throw them onto SmackDown, have them invade SmackDown, and confront DIY, who are the WWE Tag Team Champions. Now, I'm not a massive fan of DIY, but they're the Tag Team Champions on SmackDown. I don't really see the Hardys versus the War Raiders. I prefer the Hardys versus DIY, right? And you build a match between the Hardys and DIY, and you can even make it for both sets of Tag Team Championships if you like, and have the Hardys win. That is a way to get eyeballs on TNA. And it's a way for people who watch TNA and don't watch WWE, because there's still a few of them TNA hardcores from 10 years ago. They're still there. They might even tune into SmackDown if the TNA Tag Team Championships are on SmackDown. You never know. But when it comes to NXT, who cares? Apart from a few grifters and a few people that may actually like NXT, who cares? Not me. And I don't think the majority of people do either. Or the NXT ratings would be more than what they are. They're competing with Dynamite. They should be well ahead of Dynamite now, in my opinion. But I don't see this partnership as an exciting thing. It could be if they really wanted it to be, but it's NXT and it's not main roster WWE. So who cares? Who cares? Again, we might see some TNA guys in the Royal Rumble, but that's probably about all you're going to get. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see the Hardys on SmackDown. I'd love to see Joe Hendry on Raw or SmackDown, right? But it's all going to be NXT. And that's not enough for me. Not enough for me. Finally, AEW. Now, last time we talked about AEW Grand Slam Australia, we called it the AEW Grand Slam Australia failure. I got it out in the end. And we discussed that it was no longer a stadium show. Now, this fucking show has to be one of the biggest flops in wrestling history, okay? Because they started it out as a stadium show on pay-per-view. It is no longer a stadium show, and it is no longer on pay-per-view. It is a Collision special, and we don't know how many fans are going to be there because they've downgraded. And I checked WrestleTix just to see how many people have bought tickets so far. I searched Grand Slam Australia to make sure. I searched latest on WrestleTix. Guess what? There is no update for AEW Grand Slam Australia for their tickets, basically. There's nothing posted by WrestleTix whatsoever. The last time WrestleTix posted about it was to announce that they're downgrading, which was in like September or something. The show is a month away. Why aren't we seeing any graphs or the map and the tickets sold, tickets distributed, blah blah blah? We're not seeing any of that. We're not really hearing about it from AEW that much. Oh, it's a fucking flop. It is a massive failure. You had all these dirt sheets, mainly Sean Ross Sapp, coming out saying, ha ha ha, look, AEW, they're doing a stadium show in Australia because for some reason they're tribalists for AEW. Which concerns me, because how can you be a tribalist for AEW in this day and age, man? Who cares about AEW? The only reason I'm talking about them today is because of how big of a fucking flop this Australia show is. Not that it's going to be, it already is a massive flop. They expected the same thing that they got in London at the Wembley with 70-something thousand fans, and then the following year 50,000 fans, right? Did they even sell 10,000? I don't think Australia is a good market for AEW, and I don't think AEW will see the same success that they saw at Wembley if they go to Japan, if they go to Germany, if they go to France. The only reason they made it big in the UK is because the UK fans, a lot of them, for some reason, are a bit stupid. I'm not one of them. I'm one of the outliers, and the people who live in the UK in my audience are also a part of the outliers. But a lot of UK wrestling fans, man, they're a little bit, I don't know, unhinged. They think that the Young Bucks are the best tag team in wrestling. They think that fucking, what's his name? Michael Nakazawa is a good wrestler. Who? They pay to go and see Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. That is no joke. When Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer come to the UK, these people will buy tickets to see Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. That's the only reason AEW made it big in the UK. Only reason. Any other country, it ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I don't think you're gonna get much in Mexico because you've divided the Mexican fans, because you've taken the side of CMLL over AAA, which I don't know how that war works over there, but apparently that's a big thing. CMLL versus AAA, they don't like each other one bit, apparently, right? Tony took the side of CMLL, which is one of the reasons you're seeing the Lucha Brothers leave AEW, okay? At the end of the day, AEW, they're going downhill. We've discussed this many times. I don't really talk about AEW anymore because of how downhill they've gone. It is sad. It is very sad watching Jon Moxley do his fake hardman shit, choking out Powerhouse Hobbs when he gets choked out by someone who doesn't wrestle in a jiu-jitsu fucking fight or whatever, right? Jon Moxley got choked out, and we're expected to believe that a man who got choked out by some ordinary guy who looks like he works at Costa can choke out Powerhouse Hobbs. No. Right? Nobody cares about Jon Moxley. Nobody cares about the Death Riders. Nobody cares about AEW. Jon Moxley couldn't even sell 2,000 tickets in his hometown of Cincinnati. Last week, or this week, one of the weeks. They are failing, they are dying, and very soon, I know some of you may not like this, Matt Cardona certainly won't like it after what he said this week. Matt Cardona says that the tribalism needs to stop. I'm not even a tribalist anymore. I used to be a tribalist, but not anymore, man. I do not care anymore, right? AEW is going to die. It is going to die a horrible death. And when it happens, I'm going to be sad because of what it could have been. But at the same time, I'm going to be, that's what happens, Tony Khan, when you fucking decide to only have a small fan base, the sickos, and pander to them. Because he has not learned, he's doubled down on everything we don't like. Everything. So, fuck AEW, Grand Slam, failure. Nobody cares. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the TNA WWE Partnership. And do you want WWE to return to France? I don't. Like, subscribe, follow me on Exit, Crossman25. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.